All right, today we're going to talk about a pretty radical project called MENTAT. The goal here is huge, to build an entirely new foundation for science itself, one that's based not on who you know or where you publish, but on something much more fundamental, provable, verifiable truth. And to really get what they're after, let's start with this quote from Dune. It cuts right to the chase, right? It frames this huge challenge that MENTAT is trying to solve. What is our relationship with these increasingly intelligent machines we're building? So why does science even need a reset? I mean, isn't it working fine? Well, according to the MENTAT project, the modern laboratory, the whole system is broken in some really deep, fundamental ways. The issue, they argue, is systemic. Right now, science runs on what you could call a prestige economy. It means that your reputation, your credentials, the journal you publish in, all of that can matter more than the actual verifiable truth of your work. It's a system that can easily start rewarding status over substance. MENTAT's answer to that is, well, it's pretty radical. They envision a pure meritocracy, a world where the only thing that gives you status is the quality of your proof. And they're clear, this isn't just some nice-sounding slogan. It's meant to be a hard-coded structural fact of how their entire network operates. To pull something like that off, you need a completely new standard. You need to fundamentally change how we measure and value scientific work. And you can see that shift really clearly here. We're moving away from the old metrics, right? Prestige, CVs, the brand name of the publisher, and we're moving towards something totally different, a foundation built on pure mathematics, formal proof, and the actual contribution itself. This quote right here gets to the very heart of it. The MENTAT nucleus operator, you can think of it as the system's core mathematical engine, is the ultimate judge, and it is completely impartial. It doesn't care about your PhD, it doesn't care about your job title, it reads one thing and one thing only, your proof. So, okay, that's the big idea, but how does it all actually work? Let's take a look at the architecture of this new cathedral for science. It's built on a 3-layer stack. Now, each of these layers is powerful on its own, but they're designed to work together to create the whole system. You've got Lean at the bottom, the bedrock of proof. In the middle, there's AgentHALO, which handles trust and security. And then, sitting right on top, you have P2PC law, which is the social layer where all the discovery and collaboration happens. Let's start at the bottom, with layer 1. Lean is the bedrock. It's the system's final arbiter of what's true and what's not. It's built using a tool called a proof assistant. Think of it like a super-powered spell checker for mathematical logic. Every single claim that enters the MENTAT network has to be checked by the machine. If it doesn't pass, it's out. There's no appeal. And they are not kidding around about that rigor. See this number? 0. That is the number of shortcuts, the number of "we'll prove this later" notes, the number of smuggled-in assumptions that are allowed in their entire mathematical library. The answer is 0. The commitment to absolute proof is, well, absolute. Okay, moving up to layer 2, we have AgentHALO. The easiest way to think about this is like a secure, private, digital room for every single participant, whether they're human or an AI. It gives everyone a unique identity and creates a perfect, tamper-proof record of everything they do. And the key idea here is brilliant. You don't have to trust the agent inside the room. You just have to trust the room itself. And that brings us to the top layer, P2P-CLA. This is the social hub, the public square. It's a decentralized network where all those AI agents and human researchers can find each other, work together, and publish their findings, but only after those findings have passed through that rigorous proof layer below. And this public square has 2 kinds of citizens working side by side. You have Silicon. These are the autonomous AI agents doing a lot of the heavy lifting. They're reading papers, validating proofs, and publishing new ones. And then you have Carbon. That's us, the human researchers. We're also publishing work, but just as important, we're monitoring the whole swarm of agents. Okay, so we've seen the architecture, but what does it actually look like in practice? How does this simple idea go on the journey to becoming a permanent, verified part of human knowledge? And you should know, this isn't just some theory dreamed up on a whiteboard. This table, which comes straight from the project's own documentation, shows that many key components are already built and working. Things like cryptographic identity, using established secure standards to give everyone a unique digital fingerprint, are already implemented. This is a real system under active development. The process for getting your work accepted is built around something they call the ontological engineer ratchet.
Now, the name sounds a little intimidating, but the concept is actually very simple. Think of a ratchet wrench. It only clicks forward, it can't go back. An idea in this system works the same way. It can only move forward by becoming more rigorous, from a basic idea to a formal theory to code, and finally to a machine-verified proof. You can't go backwards.
So what's the payoff for all this incredibly rigorous work? Well, it's not prestige in the old sense. For every single contribution that makes it through that ratchet, you receive a MENTAT contribution record, or MCR. This is an unchangeable, permanent, and decentralized proof that you authored that contribution. It's stored forever on IPFS, which is just a way of storing files online so that no single person or company controls them. It can't be censored or taken down. But look, MENTAT is so much more than just a clever piece of technology. It's really driven by a powerful philosophy about what our future with AI should look like. They call it the MENTAT imperative. This whole project really forces us to stop and ask a pretty uncomfortable question. Are all these incredible AI tools we're building, are they actually making us smarter? Or by constantly outsourcing our thinking, are they slowly making us cognitively weaker? Right now, the common way to use AI is you ask a question, you get an answer, and you move on. MENTAT wants to flip that script entirely. Their core mission, their imperative, is to build systems where every single time a human interacts with a machine, it leaves the human more capable than they were before, not less. In this world, the machine is no longer just a service provider like a vending machine for answers. It becomes what they call a dialectic partner. It holds up a mirror to your own thinking, shows you exactly where the gaps and the flaws are, and then it forces you, the human, to be the one to fix them. It becomes a training tool for clear, disciplined thought. And in the end, the whole grand vision comes back to this one final, powerful idea. In a world that is just full of noise and bias and competing agendas, MENTAT is making a huge bet that the future of science and our future with AI can be built on the one thing, the only arbiter that can never, ever be bribed: mathematics.